we are involved in a project that the majority of anything we're going to make, it's almost exclusively from project management. We were asked by an agency client of ours who knows us for years as one thing, but they came to us several months back. This is a non-trade show event. It's not I was going to say a permanent install, but it really has to have a modular component. But I'm saying this because next Friday, the 17th, is it the 17th next Friday of May, is the grand opening at the Palm Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Sammy Hagar is partnering with them on a project called Sammy's Island. And this has been in development for months. And they are so the casino was sold, or the resort was sold a while back. It was remodeled. The new owners are in a partnership with Sammy. And so one of the giant pools, and the big thing in Vegas in the summertime is day clubs, right? Thousands of people come out and hang out at the pools. So Sammy's, they're creating a portion and creating an island in the pool. And it's called Sammy's Island, and it can be reserved, and sponsors can have stuff, but it is, there's a bunch of 16, 18 foot high palm trees that are manufactured. This is part of our project. There's kind of a Mayan stone faux rock wall structures there, including directional ones inside the hotel. Now, this is an enormous project that we got a small piece of, but some of these, what we had to provide was so specialized. That's not something an exhibit company's making in their shop. But we have a collective of some, because between what we have in Orlando with, Disney and Universal set contractors, and what you have with all the amazing casinos and resorts in Las Vegas, we have vendor partners that do those things. So, but our profit opportunity there really was being their project manager. We're the crisis management guys. We're in the business with lots of variables, fast changes, short changing lead times, all of those things. So they came to us and go, we know you guys know how to do this kind of stuff. And oh, by the way, make this work for us. And we need it to be able to be moved if we want it to be moved. So that's why we're not planting real palm trees. And it's already led to 2 other projects around town. Somewhere in here you started asking questions of, what are the challenges when you're really doing collaboration where I'm really more in what is traditionally my partner customer's role? Agencies. Let me tell you, agencies are a particular set of professionals, man. So when one of my vendors go, oh, hey, Martin called me this week. He was over in California there to pick up some of the components for this. And they go, oh, yeah, this isn't going to be ready till Tuesday. Well, the thing opens. We're moving in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And Martin goes, what do you mean? He goes, oh, your client called us and they changed the logo. So we're having to redo some of what's being built. And you go, okay, well, that would have been good to know before I made a 5-hour drive over with my box truck team to pick up some of these components. Now, it turned out it was really good that they called because their logo was different and not properly formatted for, some of the laser cutting stuff that needed to be done. But the point is, this is what, to your point about project management, right? Tons of time that goes into this, even if you're not the actual builder of the stuff. So I know our listeners right now that do business with us, this is the world you live in all the time, right? Because we're not typically talking, and this isn't a brand per se, this is an exhibit house client. And of course, then, so there's us, there's the agency, there's the specialized vendor with an opinion. And of course, then there is the principal, which is Sammy Hagar, and he has a say, right? So anyway, you look at, and that same layer of decision makers is in every project on the trade show side in some form or another. But do not give away. When I say I don't charge for that, that's a referral of me handing a contact over that I'm willing to co-sign for. But you're right. If we're involved unapologetically, there's going to be a fee associated, and we will absolutely own it for you. If you need us to be those guys, we'll be those guys. So.
Well, I think this is a great topic for people to think more about, especially as, costs are increasing across the board in many areas. It's more than ever, it's valuable to focus a little bit. And I think with anything that involves collaboration, teamwork, being a part of a collective together that's working towards everyone being successful, lifting everybody up, you've got to know your value, and you've got to know the value of those around you. And that's really what we're talking about, the value of an outsourced partner. And in order, I think one big tip that I have for any listeners out there that maybe have partners they rely on, kind of like you mentioned, there's kind of two: those that you rely on for new opportunities and that you serve, and then those that you rely on to execute aspects of your project and your deliverables. And on either side of that coin, just know the effort behind the ask. Because a lot of times when these things go wrong is that you don't understand the effort behind it. How are they charging us so much? Well, do you understand what really goes into that?
That's right.
Or they should have this done like in a couple of hours. Well, do you really understand the effort behind the ask that you have there? And I think when you understand the value that people bring, and you really value the effort behind the ask that you have of people, the collective strengthens, and you're able to do great work together for a long time and really find valuable partnerships where everyone can succeed. So I think this is a really great
This
episode.
is, by the way, you asked the question earlier, what do we look for in an opportunity sending collective partner? And you just said they have to, I need them to understand the value of what we do. I promise you, we charge a fair price for the services that we want to over deliver on. But it's when somebody does not understand that, Khalil, and they just think, well, it's just, two guys in a back room and they're just sitting there waiting to be told to do something or whatever it is, or they don't understand the specialized nature or all the details. And you know what? We get a lot of salespeople that are new, right? 53% of the people in the trade show and event business are new in the last 3 years. So they may not fully understand this unique and unnatural process called face-to-face events. So, given that you work with so many different companies in the construction space, can you just begin to imagine some of the communication or the detail challenges when you get 2, 3, 4 different types of stakeholders in a project, like the thing describing?
Absolutely.
I think that's really so. In thinking about that, what are some of the things we look for? I'm caring about what a partner's process is. First of all, do they have one, right? Second of all, do I understand it? Does it make sense? Because we've got one, but I can use yours or I can use mine. Chances are they're going to have a lot of similarities if we're both, been doing this a while. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges with a new partner is getting dialed in on the communication and the flow of information back and forth. Common language, expectations.
Yeah, it's all expectations at the end of the day. I mean, like you mentioned, I work a lot with construction companies, and new construction's notorious for having subcontractors. And the best GCs have expectation documents that they give to all of their subcontractors, that here's what you can expect from us.
Yes.
We're going to pay you every Friday. We pay out every project every Friday for the work that's been done, right? You're never going to receive a payment from us on Wednesday, so don't ask for it, but you will receive it on Friday if it was invoiced that week, right? So like little things like that. You are responsible for your own cleanup. We will never clean up after your mess, right? Little things like that, having that expectation of what they can expect from you, but also what you expect from them, goes a really long way. And just like you do with any client, you go through an onboarding process to set expectations with the client. Do the same exact thing for the people that you're going to partner with day in and day out. If you're going to collaborate on the same project, you're effectively on the team together. We want to know what our vision is, what the values we want to live by, and what our general ground rules are for making this a successful project, right? So just having those expectations very clear up front and agreeing to them can be a massive win for the project and getting it on the right track. If you do that, there's very little room for error after that.
A wise man once told me, anything in writing is an agreement, and agreements prevent disagreements, right? So, yes, smart GCs figure that out. So, put those expectations in a document format. Maybe it's your contract, maybe it's your memo of understanding. It's whatever it is, but agreements prevent disagreements, and it's much easier to hold people accountable and understand what your own accountability is when you can go back and read that, see that.
Yeah, absolutely.